Our cussing is going to scare the GD ghost out of ya. Content is explicit. You have been warned.
Welcome. You are listening to Bewitched Banter, where two best friends,
one skeptical, Amy,
and our resident believer, Krista.
Hi, that's me. We talk about the universe and all her beauty.
Or what I would call magical thinking.
But really, we do talk about the spooky, the spiritual, some wacky religions, cults, and definitely the paranormal.
And I like to bring us back to reality and talk about how science debunks 99.9% of this bullshit.
We did experience some cool shit this weekend, though. Some very cool, magic-y, like, old-towny vibes. Hence my t-shirt.
We were in Bisbee, Arizona. We are officially banished from that small town. We have learned that it's best for us to visit for a weekend and then quickly leave.
And never show our faces again.
Well, we'll be back in a few months to haunt their asses, but we had a fabulous time, probably at the expense of everyone in that hometown.
Today we are covering the God you believe in might also influence the ghosts you see, or in Amy's words, quote unquote, see.
Or maybe you'll cover this. If you don't believe in said God, there's probably no ghost to see, right?
Pretty much. Very, very close aligned with my very religious focus on this, because exactly to your point, that's the context in which ghosts really were created. So cool. Not all religions, but read my horoscope, bitch.
So you are a Libra. This is a time when you're creating a whole new reality for yourself. You're creating a whole new dimension, and you have enormous support on this journey.
Aww,
you're coming out
you.
You're coming out of destructive patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And you're done pissing off Bisbee, and you're finding new healing modalities.
Which is true. So, okay, let me talk before you break it down or debunk it. So first of all, yes to the beginning half. I have so much effing support in you and in friends and in family, of which we discussed at length this weekend, but also getting back to my fitness. So as we know, I've been doing a lot of my meditations, mindfulness, but not here for the physical body. And today I started that journey. So that was pretty on point for me.
I've noticed like every horoscope is basically like saying you're starting a new life.
I'm working on it. So that's what I'm manifesting. Hopefully
but they're probably saying that because it's a new year, new birthday, time when people reflect. Okay, what's mine?
Not gonna lie, valid point. Gemini, your horoscope for October 10th, you will find seeds within yourself that are ready to grow, that are germinating, and you're going to search for more of these seeds within you. You don't need any light in order to find these seeds. Your intuition guides you, and you have an inner sight. Intuition, as I always talk about.
No comment.
Well, the only relatable factor to even for me is that you've been doing Orange Theory. So I think that's a pretty goddamn good seed to have planted. And you are watering it daily, which, you know.
All my herbs in my backyard are dying, though, so I need a little help on that front.
Before I get into what you would call bullshit, I have something for you aligned with that. And I think you snuck a peek, and I'm pissed off at you.
I barely looked at it, to be honest. What does it say for everyone at home?
It says, deja vu. The feeling you've heard this bullshit before.
Aw, cute. Is it a dishcloth?
It's a dishcloth, and I thought it would go very nicely accented next to your classy as fuck dishcloth.
I like it. Very cute. Thank you.
We also had the surprise of drag brunch, and I was so excited. It was like the happiest moment of my weekend. It was just such a nice, pleasant surprise, and it was called Drag Yourself to Brunch, and apologize. Do you remember the queen's name who
Jessica,
led it?
I can't remember her last name. We'll have to shout it out later.
We're going to shout you out, Jessica, because you were badass. You had some amazing gals, and I just commend any queen, we know that, but like for you to be in such a small town and just killing it, it was so cool to see. So thank you for making our lunch very special on Saturday in Bisbee.
Should we tell them about how we skipped the ghost tour?
Oh, God. Sure. Actually, I'm not going to lie. I'm very upset about it, but she promised to make it up to me in Jerome, so we'll see.
Well, we were supposed to go on a ghost tour. We booked it. Thankfully, it was only $20, but we got a little carried away and had a lot of fun, and we thought it'd be best if we weren't around families. And the ghost tour did
Very
walk
true.
by while we were
Very
eating
true.
dinner, and we did wave at them. We were like, we had good intentions of coming, but we probably were doing the world a favor because we probably were not PG rated at that point, and no one needed to be around us as a family.
1,000% Yeah, I'm so glad we didn't do that. We were a little lit.
But we had fun. It was a great weekend.
It really was.
We did some like shopping. We had a shopping high.
Which, once again, look at this beautiful hand-stitched hat. I'm just so proud of it. I can't stop showing it
I was
off.
going to wear my pretty crochet. I got a pretty like handmade crochet macrame evil eye tank top. Definitely have the post-vacation blues.
You definitely
I was so tired. I was so tired.
She had to go to the office. Thank God I did not. Woo.
And then I had to sit in my office and be all serious. I was like, man, I want to go back to vacation life.
It's really sad to be in a dark, cold office by yourself. I hated that.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing on the daily. So if anyone wants to check in on me, I'm just kidding. I'm okay. This isn't a cry for help quite yet.
Oh, boy. No, it is not. Should we get on with our ghost and God story?
Yes, I am curious to know a little bit more about what these religious people think.
Awesome. Well, I have a lot to share with you today. So kind of took me back to this research, to my very first story research ever about how we use things to escape death and our fear of death. And so again, since the beginning of time, humans have feared death a lot. So as you know, as such a believer that you are, when you believe in death, then many religions also believe in an afterlife. Mm-hmm. So that afterlife also, therefore, logical thinking, next step, leads itself to the opportunity to see a ghost, quote unquote, see a ghost. So not only to believe them, if you're religious, but to see them as well. So,
well, they're also like hallucinating God on a daily basis.
I don't think that's fair to say, to be honest with you. Oh, you mean actually seeing God?
Yeah.
And hearing God? Oh, yeah, for sure. That's
like hearing him and talking to him.
Oh, yeah. Lots of that come in this app, actually. But were all gods created equally?
Are we?
And all ghosts?
Was that a question?
Did I say all ghosts or did I say all gods? I don't remember.
You said we all are created equally.
Oh, we're all ghosts created equally, was my actual question. They aren't. This is not.
I don't know.
This is not an equal opportunity for the ghosts to spook us. I
don't know. Do they have equal rights?
Those motherfuckers paid. We paid them and we didn't show, so we did them a favor. Like they didn't even have to do anything for us. They got paid for not working. Okay, for missing the ghost tour.
It was a donation
to the ghosts,
which I don't believe in.
Well,
I made a donation. We ghosted their ghost tour.
Shit, yes, ding. Yeah, we did. A little bit, but I'm so glad we did. Well, today I'm taking us through.
Wait, I thought you were asking me if all ghosts have equal rights.
Oh, no. I was just asking.
I was
alluding to, are they all the same?
No, you made it sound like, do they have equal rights? And I was like, God damn it. Is there like racism and they hate poor ghosts too in the afterlife?
The ghosts.
It's like, damn it. Even in the
ghost world.
Even in the afterlife, we can't escape this shit. Like, come on.
Oh, that better not be. No, my question really was, sorry if that was confusing. What was I asking? Sorry. So if the ghosts that you believe in are all the same, or sorry, if you believe in ghosts rather, are you going to see the same shit? Like the same apparition or the same style of ghost, if you will. But why is it always got to be religious people that see ghosts?
Oh, I was going to say it probably isn't always, right?
You actually are onto something, my friend. But essentially, it was to, as I mentioned at the top, to assuage our fear of death. And that's where it all came from. A lot of this came from a really incredible conversation article / blog, and I am quoting it only because the ending is so freaking funny that I think you'll appreciate it. So back to the old days of Bewitched Banter, where I literally wrote a research paper and then read it thinking that was entertaining.
Yeah, we did on the drive to Bisbee, listen to old episodes, and we were laughing because I had to like tell Krista to stop using quotes all throughout the episode, because I'm like, this isn't an academic like publication. Just say in your own words.
But this is actually not academic, so let me. And it's funny. I did it so often.
She did it so much that she started saying end quote sometimes when she was just talking and it wasn't a quote.
So this is the quote from the conversation article. By following a clear set of rules, worshippers can assert control. They know what they have to do to make good things rather than bad things happen to them after they take the, quote, big dirt nap, end quote, which I thought you would find funny.
Dirt nap.
No? Oh, damn, I missed that mark. Well.
Sorry.
But I'm silence.
I could pretend to laugh for you if you want me to.
No, I'm good. The next part of that article dives into that this really hit home for me. I had like an experience at your house while I was researching because it made so much sense as to why I have the beliefs I believe. And I never was able to question my questions or beliefs. And you say it all the time, you believe just to believe. Well, this helped me figure out why. So,
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
That's a ghost noise, by the way, if you were wondering.
Body bottle service. You got to go. Bounce these notes. I actually understand. So I'm not going to be able to get through it. Okay. All the evidence describe that they found that of people that are like quote unquote believers like myself, that we know I'm the believer of this bunch, but those who don't go to church regularly, me. So I believe in the spiritual, but I don't go to church. God knows. Mm-mm.
So you just don't, people who don't follow an organized religion. Basically.
Exactly. Are twice as likely to believe in ghosts.
Oh,
than
interesting.
Than both sides of the coin. So you have your extremes, like you always talk about. So you have your religious, devout. Again, I'm in the middle. I believe in ghosts and spirits and energies, all that. That's me. But I don't go to church. Now you have your extremes. You have your, again, religious folks, very devout. And then you have your people that are completely not devout.
Okay.
Which makes sense. Most likely an atheist, right? Not all, but some. And so I, in the middle, am twice as likely than both those extremes to believe in ghosts. Isn't that crazy? I had a huge epiphany. I was like, holy shit.
That kind of makes sense, though, a little bit.
It makes so much sense. And to tie it into my Catholic roots, like, everything that I was taught, and I'm going to get into it a little later, was so triggering of why my beliefs are the way they are because of what I was taught through the Catholic religion. It's insane. Like, I was like, oh, maybe there aren't ghosts. Like, I wasn't ready to accept that yet.
She said it. Said it.
But I still believe. I just, I can't
you probably
not
won't
believe.
from a year from now. That'll be in your horoscope. Amy's horoscope. You not believing in ghosts. And it was all a lie.
It was all a dirt nap dream. That's as it relates to ghosts and why those who believe see them. But why do people claim to see apparitions like Granny Bitch Carol Baskins from a... Why do we see Granny Bitch Carol Baskins from the grave?
Because we care about the tigers and we gotta know what happened.
Wild cats.
But why do we see like? Why do I see?
Shh, behind you.
Why do I see dead people? I mean, I don't personally see dead people, but why do
I was trying to explain it. Like, why would anyone who believes in ghosts then if they believe would have the opportunity to see one? If they do choose this belief, why do we claim to see them from a psychological perspective? Is the serious question.
Well, it's all a mind trick.
Yep. Let me break it down for you.
So I covered that a little bit in Haunted Places, how it's all your mind. It's like your mind's so I don't know how to say this in a smart way, but it's so smart that it's like your brain's constantly playing tricks
Yep.
on you because you can't really analyze and take in everything that's happening. And so our brain is constantly looking for pattern recognition and is trying to find patterns. And then people think they see ghosts ultimately.
Right. And that's a process I'm going to mention a little bit below called matrixing. You're absolutely right. But that's the psychology. But this is a little kind of crazy stats that also confirmed my little epiphany from a global market research firm called Ipsos. This is from a study they did, released October of last year, so almost a year ago. This came out, and it's called "Over a Third of Americans Believe in Ghosts and UFOs." So just a little stats here: 36% of Americans believe in ghosts, and 39% in UFOs. Men are more likely than women to believe in UFOs, while women are more likely to believe in ghosts, spells, or witchcraft. Hi! And then we have only about 1 in 4 Americans have actually seen or believed to have seen the presence of a ghost. And finally, women are more likely than men to have seen the ghost than men are. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you think that part of you logically might know that ghosts don't exist, but you would be sad to know that it's not a reality, like all this stuff that you believed in
1,000%.
Would that be a letdown for you?
Big time letdown. Like the other day when you're like, I don't believe in souls, it's just nothing. That's bullshit to me. That's always going to be bullshit to me. Even if there is that logical piece of me, that's something I'm not willing to accept because life is so goddamn hard. What are we here for then? So we can't just be here to be fucking here. That's bullshit.
We can be, but also, so you're kind of admitting that you believe in this stuff because it makes you feel better, but maybe you don't believe in this 100%.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I will always have a spirit of intuition and things beyond.
How can you say always have? Because you might have different life experiences that make you believe other stuff.
They might. So going forward, I don't see myself letting go of that. But yeah, I had a little come to Jesus, no pun intended, in this research. I did, and you're right to press me. But I also still, again, life is so fucking shitty. Why there's no there has to be. I don't know. I'm not ready to accept that it's just because that's not okay.
See, I don't look at life like that though. I don't think of life being shitty.
Yeah, I know you were going on and on how beautiful it was after calling me a moron.
For good reasons.
I was a little emo. It's in my
Krista
feels.
was emo, and I had to yell at her until we were on vacation to snap out of it.
And I did. Yeah, that's another conversation I can't intelligibly have right now because I'm still working that out. But back to psychology. There's matrixing, which you described exactly earlier. Our brain wants to make patterns and creates things that we see because that's how we were wired to be preconditioned to see threats. And so it was like, again, the way I forget what episode I covered where it's a way, dreams, where we practice in our sleep threats, like fight, flight, that kind of thing. That's similar to matrixing when people claim to see an apparition.
Makes sense. I think I cover that briefly too.
Yeah.
It's all about
you do? Okay.
Well, I did in Haunted Places. I talked about like someone from prehistoric times might be looking out in the Sahara Desert and they see grass moving, and that could tell them like that animal that or like a person nearby who's going to harm them. They know like your brain knows the pattern, so it's a way to protect themselves. And that's another reason why for like evolution purposes that we put 2 and 2 together, and sometimes we see things that aren't there.
Exactly. Yep. This phenomenon has another name in psychology called hold up with the pronunciation, pareidolia. Doila? Yeah.
That's good enough. You tried.
Great. Thanks.
You tried.
Thanks, teach. Oh, that was sweet, teacher, Amy. So again, this pareidolia is a tendency for the person to see or perceive meaningful interpretations of stimuli that they see, even if there is none there. Again, common examples are images of animals, faces, or objects in cloud formations. So it doesn't even have to be just ghosts. Like, think about all the times we were kids and looked up at the sky or the stars or the moon and saw a face or whatever we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that
last
phenomenon.
night I could see a face in the moon. It was like
a
full moon. It was a
yes,
full
it was
moon
a full
last
moon.
night.
It was.
All the dogs were going crazy and barking. Yeah.
And you're going to tell me there's nothing spiritual to that. There's something there.
I think there's science behind it. What's happening.
Yeah. All right. There are also other significant factors in ghost sightings from a Psychology Today article written again last October. So a few more things for the psych part of this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So believing in the paranormal phenomena is a critical first step in seeing ghosts or claiming to have seen similar paranormal encounters. So you have to believe, obviously, first to see one, right? So like you would never claim to see one because you don't accept it as reality.
I would be calling 911, a shorty on the dance floor.
All right. So also your personality and your cognitive style, so learning style, right? I'm pretty sure that's what that alludes to. Mm-hmm. Your cognitive style are good predictors of embracing the paranormal beliefs, right?
So what kind of personality? Like a whack personality?
Oh, so I'm whack? I mean, I know you already think that. That's fine. But you're somehow, you know what? It's your choice to be my best friend, okay? Your choice.
I never said I wasn't personally either.
I know. I love you, bitch. Finally, today's topic, as it relates to religious backgrounds, whatever your religious background is, can obviously very much influence the types of ghosts you allege to see. A lot of, again, what I'm covering next is from a Christian lens, just because it was a way for me to like finally cover the topic I wanted, which was angels, demons, and ghosts. What's the difference? Who cares? But also because as Christianity took over the world via many horrific things, as we know, like the Inquisition and just horrible things that Christians do, I know you said you're going to cover something like that, especially within the Catholic faith. Christianity is one of the dominant world religions, if not the one, right? That's why in TV, movies, film, anything that we have as symbols or archetypes are all coming from that Christian lens, even ghosts in everything we consume. So that's how much of an influence Christianity has in our everyday consumption of everything, of media.
Well, it makes sense. And a lot of movies are coming out of LA.
Exactly. And it's funny because in this lens that, again, is solely Christianity focused, angels, ghosts, and demons actually all meant different things, even though they're portrayed as the same thing or the same entity. According to Christian theory and the understanding of creation, angels are the first beings created by God. They have no physical body. They are purely spiritual beings. And the word angel actually means messenger. Therefore, this theory that angels are known as God's messengers, angels appeared when they need to send their messages to help save humankind and basically save ourselves from ourselves, kind of thing, as God's messenger. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I've watched enough like Lifetime movies, so
exactly.
I get it.
True, yeah, exactly. And so these angels have been, as I said, in media throughout time. And some of examples of an angel, according to this Christian blog, this is where I'm getting all these definitions, by the way. The angel Gabriel appeared to the Blessed Virgin Mary to announce the good news that God has chosen to bear his son, or God has chosen her to bear Jesus. Let's see what else we have. An angel appeared to the shepherds in the hills above Bethlehem to bring good tidings and joy, right? That's even in our song, when Christ was born. And then finally, an angel appeared to the women at Christ's tomb. They were mourning his death when he was supposedly resurrected. So angels since the beginning of time. And then, have you ever heard of guardian angels?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they are? Other than utter bullshit.
Well, I will answer that. So I would assume it's like your angel that overlooks you. Like people always will be like my mom passed away. She's my angel type thing.
Yep. You got it. So, according to Christian faith, once again, every man, woman, and a child has a guardian angel assigned to them. And it's this guardian angel's mission to protect their it's like they call it like almost like dogs. They're human, both physically and spiritually. Even cities have patron saints, i.e., Ireland, St. Patrick, and countries. Again, just Christianity's influence is quite broad. Typically, though, angel refers to a light being, positive energy. So, you know how you always ask, why gotta be scary though? Well, enter my beliefs. Remember my Catholic upbringing. Enter demons. It's really wild. I told you I had a huge epiphany doing this research of like, oh my God. I was just sitting at your kitchen table, and I was like, I actually have body chills about it because it was like really the mind fuck.
The devil did it again. He made me believe. Is that what you were thinking?
So I'm assuming you don't know the story of Archangel Michael. Archangel. Do you know that story?
I know, like, the devil is an angel that's fallen, and that's
exactly the part of the story. So
Lucifer.
That's
I know
Lucifer
that part.
Lucifer was part of Archangel Michael's war, right? He's the one who shot him down to hell. And
Michael sent him to hell?
Mm-hmm.
That bitch?
That bitch, Carol.
That bitch, Michael? Damn, that's kind of harsh. Before we get into it more, I never understood the whole thought of God is all forgiving, but then they would say, if you're not saved, God will send you to hell for eternity. Because I was like, that's not forgiving at all.
No, it's not.
And that's what the part I couldn't get over. I was like, he's all forgiving, but then...
And then you do that? Yeah, okay.
You're banned for eternity? Like, you don't get to come up there in 5 years? Like, hey, God, I paid my time. I'm sorry.
Oops, she did it again.
That's the part I couldn't wrap my head around. So if someone
blemished God
me on that part, how it makes sense, I would appreciate it, because I never got that logic.
No, that's absolutely true. And believe it or not, that's something I've always had trouble with. That's one of the reasons I never pursued Catholicism very heavily, because I was like, hell no, that don't make no sense. That don't make no damn sense. So totally with you on that one. So demons came from good old Mike's war.
Mike's ass.
Mike's asshole. Oh, also, can we talk about real quick? Amy is like one of the most foul people. Like, this is why we're best friends. It's just almost as foul as me, which is a pretty low bar.
I don't know if I'm that foul.
Almost that foul. And she can't talk about poops or buttholes. And it's like the weirdest fucking thing. I'm like, that's the line out of all the things.
That's the one thing I just don't.
I know, it's so bizarre. So I was kind of annoying her all weekend talking about itchy butt.
Yeah, it was disgusting. I'm traumatized right now.
It's so fun to piss her off. I can't even do. Okay, I know myself. All right. Mike's war sent all the bad angels to hell and all the good angels to heaven. So all those that went to...
How many were like in the party down under? Do we know?
Millions. It was lit. You missed the lit party, bitch. You missed it.
You said millions?
Countless. Like according to lore, you can't even count it. The amount of... So
is he in hell now?
Mike? Nah, he's in heaven, bro.
How?
He's an archangel.
God forgives that?
That doesn't make no goddamn sense.
How? I don't understand how God would forgive that, but...
It's such a good point, my friend. I don't... This is where my Catholicism started to unravel a little. I mean, it's been unraveled for years, but like my connection to the spiritual world and Catholicism, it all stems from that. Like if I was not raised Catholic, I may not have spiritual beliefs. I don't know. And that's what this research made me learn. I was like, whoa. So still mind blown about this. But moving on to those of the bad angels that got cast to hell in the lit party that Amy is hosting from the podium. DJ Amy. She in hell. So these
They
angels,
can't kick me out of hell, can they?
they might. There's a special place for you in hell, as they say. Which is so funny because I remember like berating you for like donating your Bible, and that's kind of not nice. But also, I still feel bad for the TT that gave it to you guys. I know. I just feel, I don't know, because it's like, obviously she doesn't know you guys well enough to buy an appropriate gift. However, I still felt really
It did
bad.
have our names engraved on
That's
the Bible.
why I felt bad. It was an extra step of.
Well, there might be an Amy and Corey out there who would enjoy it.
I hope so. Let's pray for that. The bad demons, the bad angels are demons. And this is what we usually see in media. Demonic possessions, Conjuring 2, all the horror movies you can think of. And apparently, once an angel falls to hell as a demon, it's their only mission to get back to earth and commit evil and cause a ruckus and a nutch, like bad things that happen, again, as a way for us to rationalize, okay, hurricanes happen, floods happen, that just stems from way back.
Interesting.
Demonic possessions, they occur through only, by the way, you can only accept a demon's presence into your life for it to possess you, which is very funny psychologically. Catholic Church, same thing.
Interesting, because I'm covering possessions. Right?
Awesome.
Next weekend.
Exorcism. It's very close.
Exorcism. Close.
Well, yeah, because you're possessed in an exorcism, allegedly. So, yes, you are.
But I thought it was different logic, but I guess we'll find out next week from what I researched.
According to Christian doctrine, right? This is a demon cannot possess someone against that person's will. So we have demons, as I said, but there's also, according to Christian doctrine, poltergeists, which we all know the famous movie and that story. Have you seen it?
No.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Allegedly, all the actors were possessed after the making of it. Interesting. Let's Hollywood lore there, which we'll get into another day for Haunted Hollywood. But poltergeists are, do you have an idea of what they are?
No, I don't.
Essentially, they are demons that can take human form, and they are bad. And the word is actually a German word that means noisy ghost. So Poltergeist, that makes sense with a geist.
Mm-hmm.
What did I ask you about this week? Flugen. Amy speaks really good German, actually.
No, I don't.
Better than me, and I'm German.
I know like one sentence.
Flugenmead. I know that one. You taught me that a million times.
Fickenmere.
Oh, what did I say?
You said Fukenmere.
Fickenmead.
Yeah, Fickenmere. Fuck me.
Yes, please. So it's German word, poltergeist, and essentially again it means noisy ghost. These ghosts are, as portrayed on TV, as we know, loud. They wreak hell on your home, your body, your everything. And
on your toilet.
So that's poltergeist. And they really have become part of that lore again of Hollywood because of the extreme of the activity, the paranormal activity that's so strong. So that's a poltergeist. Now, today's topics is ghosts and gods, right? What ghost do we believe in? What God do we believe in? What ghost are we going to see? As I said, Christians see ghosts as disembodied souls. And according to Christians, ghosts are the most misunderstood of all spiritual creatures.
Did they tell you that?
This Jesus blog did.
Okay. I was like, how do you know this?
All right. So we're getting into which different religions besides Christianity. Now we've kind of belabored the hell out of that one. As I covered in voodoo very early on, badass episode, by the way, in religions such as that, so a lot of African religions, spirits and ghosts play a central role in the entire religion, right? So remember, the whole ceremonies in voodoo is conjuring your loved ones, your ancestors, to give you power and strength and whatever it is you're charming or trying to conjure. And that's the central key thing of that religion in Santeria and many other Afro-Cuban religions. So ghosts are there in many forms. as we're about to cover. So Buddhism, here's getting into some of your, I'm doing alpha, PS, alpha order.
Okay.
Buddhism, ghosts are apparently reincarnated individuals who may be sorting out bad karma.
Okay.
And animals,
cool.
as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Catholic.
That makes sense.
Catholic, these again, this was my biggest wow moment. We are the most amenable to the existence of ghosts, and I guarantee you now it's because of what I just said about needing fees for confessions and blah 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 blah, and to scare the shit out of people to make them go to church. But that's funny, like we believe in ghosts, or they teach you to believe in them, and even like the Holy Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. I'm sure you've heard that before. Right? When you were dragged to Christian camp, you never heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. The Father of the Son, the Holy Ghost.
Yeah, that's the main prayer, sign of the cross. And so while forcing people to believe in ghosts and supernatural woo-woo stuff, they still condemn Ouija boards or the occult and other things. God forbid we question what they're telling us. Egyptian, which PS, shout out to the amazing King Tut immersion light show I went to for my birthday with my parents. Shit was incredible. So cool. But even here, we have Egyptian. Thousands and thousands of years ago, the core of their religion was ghosts. And to your question earlier, with animals. So often gods or ghosts, if you want to call them that, were seen as animals. So you had the dog head, the cat heads, bird heads, all that. So we have Osiris, who's the goddess of the underworld, Ra, the sun god, and many other many other gods that were actually then equated as pharaohs, as we know. So if pharaohs were and in English culture too, this happened, right? If we look further through, kings became God, right? They had their godly right to the throne. Egyptians, not much different. Pharaohs, same thing. They were gods once they passed through the afterlife, and they traveled with these ghosts of the gods of the underworld to go through the proper layers of heaven, hell, the paradise, they called it, I believed. Super cool visual, though, because they actually did like a whole scene of Tut going through the underworld and back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really cool.
I need to go to one of those interactive art shows. I've never been.
You would love it.
What do you call it? Interactive, where they have like the art moving and projected?
Yeah, immersion, I think.
Immersion, okay.
Yeah, it would be super cool. Highly recommend. All right, moving on to Hindu. Ghosts are the souls of individuals who suffered a violent death, or people who were not or didn't follow appropriate death rituals. So, man, you fucked up. You ain't gonna get nothing. But if you remember, also the violent souls played a role in the episode I covered about paranormal warfare, because they were playing loud ass sounds to spook people in the jungles. And that's maybe not Hindu per se, but similar type of belief there, to answer your question about Asian cultures.
Okay, cool.
Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, check that episode out too.
Did you witness a ghost as a Jehovah? Sorry, I couldn't stop myself.
They might. They believe, however, that ghostly apparitions are demons in disguise and not souls of the deceased Granny Carol Baskins.
So do ghosts celebrate holidays? Like, are they hated?
Oh, yep. They're not allowed. They'd go to hell.
Well, is the ghost viewed as being in hell or not?
That's a great question. All it says is that they believe that ghosts are demons. So in their belief,
I mean, demons probably are in hell, not in heaven, right?
Right. So to answer your question, yes. They didn't clarify.
Demons be celebrating their birthdays in hell, opening up Christmas gifts. God.
That sounds like a badass party, I'm not gonna lie.
It's lit.
Judaism. They typically discourage in all occult activities, in like Ouija boards or anything conjuring the dead. Jews don't really care about ghosts as much. They're just like, man, whatever. They don't really talk about it in their doctrine. But their oral traditions do include some stories of this is a Hebrew word, so I apologize. Dibooks. And they also believe in helpful ghosts called Ebers.
Okay.
Who are trying to help themselves with human affairs. So, but not a whole obsession with ghosts like we Catholics in Judaism. Muslims don't believe that dead people can return as ghosts, but They do believe in the work of jinn, or beings that can contain a mix of spiritual and physical properties.
Jinn the spirit?
Mm-hmm. And jinns
like
can...
Gin and tonic?
No.
I'm just talking.
Like
joking.
that bitch, Ginny Thomas. That bitch. No, jinns, it's like a overarching name for non-binary spirit, evidently. Named Jinn. Rather, they are beings that contain a mix of spiritual and physical properties. And jinns, no matter how she identifies, or how they identify, jinns' intentions can be either malevolent or benevolent. Poltergeist versus angel, according to Muslims. And finally, we end with Protestant, which I think Corey said he was raised as, right?
No, he was Methodist.
Oh, Methodist. Well,
Yeah.
Protestants don't usually talk about the existence of ghosts. That's all I have on them. Because they clearly don't give a shit.
I guess not. That makes it simple.
And those are just a few of the world religions that I covered and what gods they believe in and the ghosts they see. I do have a final quote, which I will end on because, again, it's actually a very good one. And it's not academic, I promise. Quote, "It appears that people across eras, religions, and cultures have always been curious about a spiritual world that exists beyond the curtain of death. Together, it speaks to how thoughts, fears, and visions of death are integral to human life." End quote. The end.
Good job. That was interesting.
Thank you. I still can't believe that I had such an epiphany doing it, but it's really nice. I mean, that's what this whole show is about, is me thinking outside my comfort zone, and hopefully you too in some ways.
Did you have a spiritual awakening? A religious moment with the ghosts?
No, not in my research, but it was sobering scientifically, like in a good way.
That's awesome. Well, we're kind of continuing on that theme next week because I will be covering exorcisms and how they are on the rise, which I was very surprised to find out.
Me too.
So I'll be covering why that's happening.
Because that church wants your money, people, if you didn't get that point from today.
Well, that's part of it, but it's more like, it's not really the church. I don't want to give too much away. It's not the church influencing people. It's more people are wanting the service.
Interesting. Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed our episode. If you do, again, please rate, review, subscribe. We are begging you to leave us a good review. We don't have many, and it really makes our day and our week.
Reviews make or break us, so please, if you listen, leave a little review and some stars. We would greatly appreciate it.
Well, more than a few stars. 5 stars, please.
Just 1.5.
Yeah. Are we leaving on a positive note? We're going to keep doing that?
Yeah. If you like to, let's see. I am so excited. I'm going to see Lizzo.
I'm jealous.
Going to Chicago, seeing my kids, as in my niece and nephew, and Lizzo with my sister. So, hell yes. Great week coming up for me.
Sweet. I'm going to say my positive was me and Krista had a badass time in Bisbee, and we celebrated the hell out of our 1 year of podcasting. It's been a ride and a venture, but it was well worth it. We've been we finally got to celebrate all our hard work. And it was a fun weekend.
Yes.
Hence the vacation blues today.
Oh, I know. We're going to get you out of it soon. She just needs to work out and rejoin her cult of sweat.
I'll be in my cult tomorrow.
She will. I will not be in the cult, but I will be in nature doing some more walking like I did today.
Sweet. Well, should we leave it on that note?
Absolutely.
Be smart, bitches.
Peace, bewitches.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on Instagram or bewitchbanter.com. Suggestions for the show? Emails at bewitchbanter@gmail.com. Credits, music Phantom Fun by Jonathan Boyle from premiumbeat.com. Podcast edited and produced by Krista Hins and Amy Holt. As always, if you enjoyed, please rate, review, and subscribe.